Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to Civilization 5 as Germany heading towards a cultural victory. And I certainly think there's every chance that we're going to accomplish that. Let's just start by hitting next turn. I'm going to try and make this video a little bit shorter than the last few have been. I know I've said that several times already, but the game's just so addictive and I just want to keep playing. Even when I'm not recording, the number of nights that I've just played this through into the small hours of the morning is absolutely unbelievable. So, China's happy about our proposal. I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was one of the cultural ones, but I don't recall. It was yesterday since I last played. Right, okay. So we've got Berlin currently working towards the World Fair. I'll probably get some other cities on it. In fact, Hamburg may well end up... Oh, and Frankfurt's got some stuff to do. Frankfurt still needs to build stuff, though, really, in all fairness. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Frankfurt, as in, I don't know what type of city I want this to be. Do I want this to be a food city? Do I want this to be a production city? Do I want this to be a gold city? I'm not too sure. There isn't really anything around here that's going to give me a lot of science, to be honest. We don't have a lot of resources. We could build farms, but it seems pointless just growing a city for the sake of size. So I think I might try and make money here if I can. There's not an awful lot that I'm going to be able to do, but we're going to do the usual stuff. We're going to build an aqueduct, and then after the aqueduct, I think we will get the lighthouse going, because the lighthouse will give us some additional food production there. So I'm just going to show queue. I've got that button there. I'm going to add to the queue, and I am going to add the lighthouse, and then I'm going to add the harbour and get them all linked up. So let's get back out of there and return to the map. Now we are actually doing very well as far as production goes. Oh, that's interesting. We actually have a Chinese great musician here. Now it's already taken some damage from somebody, but they're coming here probably to try and perform a concert tour, which I'm not 100% happy about, but not really something I can stop unless I want to go to war with China and take a shot at him. Now, it would be nice to get some of these other things built here, but for the time being, we're going to stick with the World's Fair. I'm just going to have a look at the culture overview and look at influence by player for China and see what they're up to. Okay, so they're familiar with Carthage. They only have a tourism output of 6, and their tourism with me is actually falling. Their influence with me is actually falling, so let them try. I mean, look at the culture we've got compared to everybody else. If they want to have a go at trying to flip us over with a concert tour, let them try. They're not going to get very far by doing that. Munich has finished its workboat, just as I suspected it would. Now, the seaport would give us 1 production and 1 gold from sea resources, which would only be an extra 1 gold and 1 production. And it does cost us 2 gold to maintain it, so it seems a little pointless building it. We're not building naval units here either, so I think we're going to leave that for the time being as well. Everything else is pretty pointless, so we are going to do 2 things. First of all, I'm going to build another workboat, and the reason for that is I'm going to send it round to here, Frankfurt, and help Frankfurt grow. And remember, of course, because this is a single hex, we can actually pass through here with ships. So, just to demonstrate that, I move the workboat to here, and then I can actually move the workboat to here through the city, because you've got a canal. It's not going to get to there on this turn, but I'm not bothered. It's only 1 turn. Isn't going to make that much of a difference. Now, 2 of the big things that really help with getting a cultural victory are airports and hotels, because they both give a similar bonus. And as far as it's concerned with tourism, they give you an extra 50% increase on the tourism generated by your great works. But the way things are going, this could be one of the shortest cultural victories that I've ever done. We're really heading towards it quite quickly, and we might not even get as far as flight to be able to have the airports, and we may not get as far as hotels. But we are definitely going to see how things go. Okay, Frankfurt has grown. We're going to move that workboat there and create fishing boats. Okay, so we are losing influence with city-states. I haven't bothered with city-states much at all during this playthrough. And I really should, because sometimes it's well worth being friends with city-states. Some of them actually do give you various things. I mean, a mercantile state will provide extra happiness. And we would actually get porcelain from Singapore if we were friends, if we were allies with them as well. Is a maritime state, which would give us extra food in the capital. They actually want a trade route, but I can't trade route. Oh, they want great merchant and they want a road. Well, we could certainly do that. We could build a road with them. They're currently allied with the Incans, who I wouldn't particularly want to annoy at the moment. But it would certainly be nice to be allies with Singapore. So I'm going to give them a gift, and I'm going to give them a whopping 1,000. That doesn't quite make us allies because they're still allied with the Iroquois. The Iroquois are 3 more influence than we do. So I'm going to give them another 500 gold. Now that is an awful lot of gold. But they are now our allies, and they're giving us an extra resource. We're getting a lot of extra happiness now. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to move this worker into their territory. And then what I'm going to do is just build a road across here. That will then link us up. And that'll be a quest completed. So Cologne's now finished the mint. Is it worth building anything else here particularly? We could have a stoneworks. The stoneworks would give us an extra production. Not an awful lot. But it might be worth having. And a workshop would be useful too. I think we do have to concentrate here. Again, it's gold that I want to get. But I think we're going to have to concentrate on things that give us production. Because we're going to have quite poor food output here. And we've got these workers here who, again, can't do an awful lot. Starting to get a lot of workers now that I'm just going to have standing around and doing nothing. So, oh. Looks like they may have done a concert tour there. They have disappeared, and I did see some numbers, but I didn't see what the numbers were, so it's difficult to tell. So I'm going to get those guys to sleep, because they have done their job. Let's just have a quick look and see what China did do. We might be able to tell. If we just go to China. No, maybe it hasn't registered on this turn. It did definitely seem like they would have popped that unit. I can't imagine what else they would have done with it. But, I mean, let's be honest. We do have a mutual open borders, so they are getting an additional 25% bonus for doing that. But, I mean, let's be honest, they're not doing awfully well anywhere else. So, I think we're good. I don't think we have anybody else to worry about. Culture-wise, we're massively ahead of everybody else on tourism, which is absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned. So let's go on for another turn. Obviously, in the last video, Carthage lost their capital to Rome. And they were at war with both Rome and China. And now that Dido have peaced out, Rome's actually gone to war with China. So, second and third place in the game are actually fighting with each other. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of pointless pop-ups. So what we're going to do now is get these workers. Now, even though we're not currently friendly with her, I don't technically think we're trespassing. So as Kiev requested, you've successfully connected porcelain to your trade networks. That's because we got porcelain by being allies with Singapore. So we've actually become friends with Kiev because we allied with Singapore. And as it's a cultural city-state, it gives us an extra 6 culture per turn, which is brilliant. The people of Ur are looking for religious guidance. Whoever can garner the most faith in a period of 30 turns will gain influence over them. It could be us. I'm not sure who's got the most faith output. Cape Town believe we can mutually prosper from a trade route. Well, city-states are embargoed, so we can't actually do that at the moment. Zanzibar requested porcelain as well, which we've also done, so we're now friends with Zanzibar. They're mercantile, so they give us an extra 3 happiness. Kaisel also wanted porcelain as well, and they're a cultural city-state, so they've given us 6 culture. And acquisition of Wales has caused the city of Munich to enter a We Love the King date, which gives us 20 turns of a 20 or 25% growth bonus, whatever it is. Not sure who's giving us the Wales. So that's pretty good. There's quite a few people here that we've made friends with. We've gained an extra 12 culture per turn from 2 city-states, an extra 3 happiness from another city-state, and we've also gained, that's 3 happiness from here. So 6 happiness and 12 culture per turn, just by giving a bit of money to one city-state. So there's definitely a reason for doing them, even though a lot of the time I don't bother with it. Okay, so what are we going to do down here at Munich? Do we get them onto the World Fair, or do we get them doing something else? I think what I'm going to do is, because they don't have a massive amount of production, it's not bad, I'm going to get them to build a cargo ship, because we do still have another trade route or two we could have. So let's get them building it. We're very close to archaeology as well, and that is going to be a great thing for us. We're going to move this fishing boat over here, which will provide some additional food for Frankfurt. We do, of course, need to get a worker down here. Now, I was originally going to just purchase one, but I think what I will actually do, as these guys are just sitting around not doing anything, we are going to move them through the water and see if we can't get them down here and we can get them to work on Frankfurt. So these guys are going to build a road through to here. And then, do they still have that mission? Yes, they do. So they've got 3 now. And Great Merchant, then they only want us to generate the Great Merchant. It doesn't say we have to use the Great Merchant in so we'll see how that works. Carthage and the Iroquois have signed a research agreement. Not to worry, I think we're still massively ahead in technology. At least you'd hope that we are. Still quite the way ahead in score. Definitely the next game I do for a video, for a YouTube series, is going to be on a harder difficulty. And again, we'll go for one of the other victory types, because I like to mix it up. So, no longer friends with Vilnius. Well, Vilnius are miles away, so it doesn't really matter. Genoa want Voltology. I mean, where are Genoa? They're a good distance away. They are mercantile, so we get happiness from them, but they're currently allied with Rome. And we would get jewelry if we became their allies, which is another unique luxury resource, but it's probably not worth the hassle. Kaisler giving more influence for money gifted to them, which we are not too bothered about. We can adopt a new policy. So what do we do? Do we Great Admiral and 2 movement for Great Admirals? Not really bothered about that. 4 gold per turn from all sea trade routes. That would be nice. We're currently making 166 gold per turn. We have 3 trade routes. So if we do that, we now get 174. And then what do we get for maxing this out, actually? The purchase of Great Admirals with faith. Yeah, so what we'll be doing from now on is putting them into rationalism and then into the ideology. And that'll pretty much be all we need to do from then onwards. So let's create a fishing boat here. And that'll give us some extra food for Frankfurt. If they're even working that tile, of course. I'm not entirely convinced that they are. Let's have a look in city management. Oh, they are. This is getting 3 food from that tile instead of just 2. Which makes that now the most profitable food tile beyond the deer here. We could certainly build an improvement there as well, which we'll do when we get that worker down there. Let's just have a quick look at the demographics just before I hit the next turn button. We're still top for most things. Rome's still outputting the most food, and Rome have the biggest army. Now, our soldiers are 62,193. Rome's is 64, so we're not terribly far behind them. Don't need to worry too much about that. The Iroquois have the smallest army, which makes me very, very happy, as they are my neighbour. We have the most happiness now, which for the longest time it was the Incans, so I'm glad that that has happened. Now, the Incans have been signing a lot of research agreements with people, and they are currently the highest technology, which is absolutely ridiculous that they have so much tech. It might even be worth getting a spy in there. Let's have a look. We've only got the one spy who's working counterintelligence, and hasn't been surprisingly useful. Now, obviously, we could damage our relationship with the Inca if we did decide to move our spy in there. So, I don't think we're going to do that, because I think now we've got so much science coming out of Hamburg, and we still haven't finished yet. We're certainly in a position where we could start to overtake the other people and snowball them. The only reason the Incans have so much science is because they've been signing research agreements with just about everybody. I don't know what type of victory they're planning to go for. I can't remember what the AI's profile is for the Incans. Wow, that was a lot of stuff just suddenly happened there. Okay, so we've researched archaeology. We have entered the industrial area. We have a great merchant. And we have an extra spy. Well, I'll tell you what, we have an extra spy, so let's move that spy and put them in with the Inca. and we're going to put them in as a spy. Might get killed, might upset relations, but we will see what happens. We can now research something new. So let's have a look at what we could do. Well, we're starting to get to the point where we need to backfill things. Windmill would be good. We could get camp, customs house, polders, trading post. Economics would be nice. We are going to have to start backfilling. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for economics. And then we're going to backfill steel, gunpowder, and go for mining quarry production increases. So then we'll go through to chemistry. So we'll do it that way. So we'll do economics, then steel, gunpowder, chemistry. That's that sorted out for a little while. So we've got a great merchant who has been produced here. Now there are two things that you can actually do with great merchants. You can either send them into a city-state's borders and conduct a trade mission, and it will give you a massive amount of gold. It does depend on the era, but when I say a massive amount of gold, I'm talking usually over 1,000. And you also get influence with that city-state, and it may well be enough to take a city-state from neutral all the way up to being allies. But you can also build a customs house, and that customs house, when worked, gives you gold. So what I may actually do is send him up here to Cologne, because Cologne's in a position at the moment where it can't really do an awful lot of anything useful. So, as there are tiles we have that aren't providing us with anything, we're not going to do anything with them. If we can actually make this food tile, because this is a tundra, it gives us one food, but it's kind of a pointless tile. But if we can build a customs house here, still get the one food from it and a massive amount of gold. I am trying to turn this into a gold powerhouse. That's why, because it's got so much silver, and all of these are giving us gold. So we'll see how that works. He wants to give us 6 gold per turn for the dyes. Don't we only have the 1 dyes? I'm going to refuse that for the time being, because I'm not sure how many dyes I have. She wants to give me a flat out 240 gold for dyes for 30 turns. It's a lot of money, but I don't know how many dyes I have spare. I think I've only got the 1. Everybody wants my dyes. Okay, let's refuse, because I want to see how many I have. I think I only have the 1. So we'll let the turn end. Well, you can go and get knotted straight away. I mean, even if I was willing to sell what I think is my last dyes, that is just an absolute insult. Sooner give them to the barbarians. Oh, we have dyes here up near Berlin. Oh, forgot about that. So we do actually have spare dyes. Okay, that's fine. I am now the first civilization to achieve a culture that is influential with another player. In fact, I'm actually influential with 2 other players. And who are they? Influential with both Carthage and Japan. We could still flip over to dominant, but you need 200% in order to do that. And once you hit dominant, there's every possibility that their cities may flip over. So that's brilliant. We're already a good whack of the way there now. Now that I know I have a spare die, I will definitely consider... Didn't want to give it to China because their offer was just insulting. How much were the Incans offering? Trade. Spare die. What will you give me for this? 8 gold per turn for 30 turns. No, 8 gold and 7 gold per turn for 30 turns. Yeah, let's go for that. You're our buddy, and we are going to be stealing some technology from you shortly, so anything that we can do to keep you happy is probably worth doing. So Cologne has now finished whatever Cologne was doing, and we are going to... Well, we could build the Hans. It's the Hansa. I apologise. The Hansa. It certainly would give us an extra 25% gold, so that's worth having. We could also do with the workshop, though, because we need the extra production. So workshop first, then we're going to go for the Hansa, and hopefully as well we'll get our great merchant over here in one piece. We're not currently at war with anybody, so we should be okay. So those workers have got the dice. Oh, we do actually have a worker down here. I keep forgetting that they were there because they were setting up the dice. So I don't need to worry about this worker here. You can actually come back. because these workers are going to do more than enough. So as you can see, we're now starting to get these antiquity sites appear on the map. And antiquity sites are used by archaeologists. And I don't think you can buy archaeologists usually. And we do have a university. So first of all, you need to have a university in order to build archaeologists. But you can't actually buy archaeologists. You do have to build them. You can also see that we could purchase a great musician, a great artist, or a great writer. Let's have a look and see what slots we have empty. Currently, we don't have anything that would benefit from a... what's the word? We don't have anything that would currently benefit from having a theming bonus. We do have an opera house in Berlin. We could also have a great work of writing, well, basically we could have a great work of anything here. So I think we're going to pop the musician. Well, let's get a musician. So we'll go to Berlin. And we will purchase, because I'm not going to be using my faith for much else, we will purchase a great musician. Who starts out of turns, because that's what always happens. Route has been cancelled. That will be the guys down here. That is because they now have a unit in our way, so I can't do an awful lot about them. So they now need orders. I'm just going to tell them to skip the turn. Hope these guys move, because they are idiots. And carry on with that turn. So already influential over 2 cities, or 2 civs. Here we go. So, not sure. Can't tell from her face whether or not she's happy with that. And we'll get exactly the same message from the... Japanese in the moment. Open borders and gold for my salt. Yeah, fine. It's all helping towards the cultural victory because your open borders give us massive bonuses to that. Here we go. Our people are now buying your blue jeans and listening to your pop music. I worry that the rest of the world will also succumb to the influence of your culture. Indeed it will. It's going to happen. Make your peace with it now. And speaking of making peace... China have made peace with the Iroquois. Malacca seeks a great profit. Yeah, we're definitely doing the best culture-wise. Oh, that's interesting. So, the Incans are plotting against the Japanese. I'm going to share intrigue because I like to cause trouble. And we now have the trade ship. The cargo ship is complete at Munich. Now, Munich can actually build an archaeologist. While it's not building anything else really useful, could do with a museum. We can also build the Louvre now, but we're working on the World Fair. I would like to have the Louvre. Can't build great engineers, can I? Which is a shame. I'm going to build an archaeologist here. And I'll show you why, because we're going to start using these antiquity sites, and hopefully I can at least show you the purpose of them. Now, obviously, we can't trade with city-states. That's still a no-no. We're going to trade by highest gold, because that's what's important to me. I get 26 gold per turn trading with Rome. I'd also be getting 3 science. I could also put the pressure... For 1 gold less, it's probably worth trading with the Iroquois. And the reason for that is I'm already putting pressure on them religiously anyway, and this would just help. It'd be the same amount. I'd be giving them less gold than I'd be giving Rome. Obviously, I don't lose the gold, but the fact that other civilizations gain gold from the trade routes, we'd like the other civilizations to have as little gold as possible. It's the same science for either of them. So for 1 gold per turn less, we're going to trade with the Iroquois, and that also means we've got less chance of actually being taken out by the by pirates, to be honest. So that's what we are going to do. So what else have we got going on? Those guys have now moved off, so these guys can move here and build a road, which will commence on the next turn. You guys are going to build a camp, which will give us an extra 1 production here. Of course, that will clear the... what are we getting from this tile? We're getting 3 food. Now, some of that is going to be from the forest, so I'm not necessarily sure that clearing that is the best way to go. 3 food and 1 production. Let's do it anyway. Because why not? So we have our great musician, and we are going to create a great work. And that puts our tourism up to 40. That should have gone into the Opera House in Berlin, and it has indeed. Because normally it will default to the closest city, and if that city doesn't have any free slots, it will just go into whichever city is closer that does have a free slot. So let us carry on. Now, okay, we had open borders for 15 gold per turn. I don't want to give you 15 gold per turn, though. It was nice that you did open your borders, but that's a lot of gold. I'll give you 5. There we go. That was quite easy. It's like I was paying you 15 gold per turn to keep your borders open, but now I'm only willing to give you a third of the amount. Yep, that's fine. Which is good. We're giving him 2 gold per turn to open his borders. How about I off... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Misclick. It's because there's no arrow. It's very, very difficult to try and click with a circular arrow. But I just want to edit the number. There we go. How about if I give you 1 gold per turn? Nope, he wants 2. Okay, I'm happy with 2. I'm paying 5 to the Iroquois. I could have probably just done it with 2 gold. Okay, how about if I don't want to open my borders? How about if I want to give you 5 gold per turn? That's good. That's good. Obviously, China aren't likely to get a cultural victory, but they've already tried to pop a great musician in my borders once, so let's try and keep as many of other people's borders open while we keep ours closed to them. So a deal where we provided open borders to China has ended, but they still have open borders with us. The World's Fair is now 35% complete. Now, if we were to try and build the Louvre in Berlin, how long would it actually take? The Louvre. 15 turns. 1 free great artist. It's very, very tempting to try and do the Louvre, but at the same time, I'd really, really like to win the World's Fair. How much have we put into it so far? Right click for more information. Doesn't actually tell us anywhere how much we've put in, which is a bit of a shame. I think I'm going to have to stick with the World's Fair for a few more turns and then try and sort that out after. So you guys build a road. And let's quickly get on to the next turn. There we go. We are now influential with the Iroquois as well. So that's all 3 out of the 7 civilizations already. Declaration of Friendship has expired. That's with the Inca. Which I will renew, because the Inca don't seem to be a hassle to anybody. She wants to give me 2 horses to open my borders. No. Not going to happen. So, units are needing orders, of course. We have a caravan. That's going to continue trading with the Iroquois. I did say that I'd probably get rid of it at some point. We've actually got 2 caravans here. I really should get rid of these caravans and just build cargo ships, because we actually get much more gold from cargo ships than we get from caravans. But they're going to do for the time being. The religious situation here, I mean, it is their holy city for Buddhism, so it's going to be hard to flip, but we're definitely putting more pressure on them, which is a very good thing. I brought you guys back just so you could do nothing, really. And our great merchant has arrived. So what we are going to do is which tiles are we working here? We're not actually working this tile, probably because it's producing less food than any of the other water tiles, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to put you here. That wasn't the unit I actually wanted to move, so well done, guys. I know technically it was my fault, but, you know. Okay, so if we build a customs house here, it'll actually give us an extra 4 gold. 4 gold per turn, but bear in mind that 4 gold per turn is then increased by whatever buildings we have here that give us a percentage increase to our gold production here, and it still gives us the 1 food per turn. So what we really need to do is try moving one of the AI onto there. We still get some growth. I mean, it's barely any growth at all, but in all fairness, what else are we going to upgrade here? We may potentially at some point want to build a mine to give us some more production, but production's relatively decent. And That's all we really need. We just want this to produce gold. That's pretty much the important thing for us for the moment. So let's go on to the next turn. You want to give us gold for silver. You want to give us flat out gold. You don't want to give us gold per turn. Now that I'm not particularly happy with. Because you have a lot of gold. How about you give me 5 gold per turn? And she accepts. I mean, think about it. 5 gold per turn for 30 turns is a lot more gold than a flat out 20. Great. Yep, friendship. I wanted to renew that and forgot about it, but luckily he has remembered and given me that offer. So what else have we got going on? It's always difficult because you don't always know how much. My civilization has contributed 615. But we don't know how much anybody else has managed to contribute. Now, you do have to put in a certain amount to get gold, silver, or bronze. So anybody who's put in 350 or more will get silver and bronze. So we know we've got silver, we know we've got bronze, but only the highest contributor will actually get the increase in culture. But that's double culture. Double culture for 20 turns. We need to win that. It's probably more important than building the Louvre at this point. But certainly we will try and build the Louvre as soon as... I mean, it's 45% complete. We will definitely try and build the Louvre. So you guys, I think, will upgrade, just so we've got some protection up here. And we will be ending the video after this turn, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit next turn. We're going to move all of our units into place. So Iroquois were friends with the Incans to begin with anyway. And so were Carthage. And what we want to try and do is avoid being friends with Carthage in the future. We don't need to be. We've already become influential over them with our culture. And Rome is a little bit unhappy that we are friends with someone that they don't particularly like. We've completed our road to Ur. Or Ur. We've now got some ivory from somewhere. Ur is now our ally, just because we built that road, and that was brilliant. So we're going to bring these workers back and just keep them out of the way. Let's put them back to sleep. And that was a good call on me to build that road so that I could get units to Kilimanjaro, because it meant I only had to build 2 more units of road to be able to reach Ur, which is fantastic. You guys are going to go on alert. And then there's not an awful lot else we can do. I did want to have a look here and see what we're outputting. See, 25 gold per turn. 25 gold per turn is coming from this city. So that's 17 gold per turn coming from the actual terrain that we're getting from the mines. 3 gold per turn coming from buildings. And we have a city modifier of 25%. So once we build the Hansa here, we will increase that even more. So this is going to be a nice little gold output. So 25 gold at Cologne. Only 6 at Frankfurt, but it's tiny. We're getting 126 gold from our capital, which is hardly unexpected. Only 15 gold from Hamburg. And Hamburg's quite a big and well-established city. But there again, we're also getting 50 gold from Munich. So we are doing quite well. I am happy with the figures overall. I certainly don't think that it's been bad so far. We could do with a little bit more happiness. It does help us into those golden ages, and they are very important. But yeah, my next thing to show you guys is how archaeologists work. I say we are currently producing one. Now the important thing, actually I'm not even going to go through what the important things are with the archaeological dig sites, because there's no point doing it until I have the archaeologists, and I'll cover that in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I hope you're still enjoying the series, and I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.